countries all over the world are banning the use of DeepSeek, a collection of AI models developed by China due to data retention and privacy concerns. But their new R1 model is pretty sick, and in terms of benchmarks is currently ranked number 3 in the world. So how do we play with these new state-of-the-art AI models without going to prison? Well, unlike these other models, DeepSeek is actually open source. And before we go into why that's important, let's check what Dad thinks.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hey Dad, have you heard of this new DeepSeek AI thing?
I have heard of it, and don't tell me you've actually been using it. They're just stealing your data and sending it God knows where.
Okay,
I wouldn't want
Dad
you
doesn't
using
seem
that on my Wi-Fi.
overly
Have you
keen,
seen
but let's see if I can build something that even he's comfortable using.
That's basically what we're doing right now.
Okay Dad, thanks, I'll see what I can do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is download Ollama. So this is what's going to allow us to run DeepSeek locally on our machine. So we're going to download this one and then install it for whatever system you're running. I've already got mine installed, so I'm just going to run Ollama. Now the first time you run this, it will ask you if you want to install a command line utility to be able to run this command from the terminal. And you definitely want to do that. I've already done it, so I'm going to open up Warp, which is my terminal, and now I can run the Ollama command saying I want to run a specific model, and then Deepseek R1 is the specific model we're going to be running, and then this 7B refers to the version. And if we go back to Ollama and click on Deepseek R1, we can click this little drop down and see all the different versions that are available to us. So basically, the higher the number, the higher the complexity of that model. And so as you can see, the size of each model goes up as the complexity increases, which makes sense. So this 7B model is a fairly simplified version and is only 4.7 gig. But since the difference between 1.5B and 7B feels like it would be massive, and the difference there is 1 gig to 4.7 gig, but then to get a whole extra B, we only need 0.2 gig, I'm going to select this 8B model. So we can see the command has been updated to Olama run deepseek-r1:8B, so we can update our command to run the 8B version. And now this will take a while to download that entire model, and then build it and get it running locally. But once that's up and running, we'll see this prompt asking us to send a message. So this is where we specify the prompt that we want to send to DeepSeek. So we could say something like, what's the best pizza recipe you know? And so because this is a reasoning model, we get this think block where it's sort of thinking about the problem and planning out the best way to get to a solution. The benefit of this is that you can see the reasoning and the assumptions that it made to give you an answer. And so if the output is garbage, it might be as simple as correcting one of the steps or one of the assumptions that it made in that think block. But now we have our sufficiently complex pizza recipe, so let's have a look. So it describes its reasoning in this nice kind of conversational way. So I want to make a really good homemade pizza. I've heard that using a food processor can really help. And so it's kind of pulling all of these bits of things that it knows from all over the place to work out a step-by-step plan to respond to our prompt. So it talks about some ingredients, making the dough, using a food processor, the sauce, toppings, assembly, baking, and then it's finished thinking about it. And so these are the actual steps of our pizza recipe. So we need some ingredients for our crust, which I guess it means dough. We then have our sauce, our toppings, equipment that we might need, and then the instructions for how we're actually going to make our pizza. We also get some super handy tips. We even get this nice little sign off saying that it hopes we enjoy our homemade pizza. So what about something more controversial? Does pineapple go on pizza? Okay, so it's a bit confused about whether pineapple should go on the pizza or not. It knows that this is a controversial topping, but it's happy to try something unique. It also questions, does pineapple actually taste good on a pizza? And whether the texture of the pineapple is going to be too mushy, but it thinks it's worth giving it a shot. So after giving it a good amount of thinking, it's decided this is a creative approach and a unique twist. It's then given us a whole new recipe and suggests we should approach it with an open mind. What a super wise AI model. So now that I have this running locally, can I send a prompt from something else? Is there an API that can receive a HTTP request that contains a prompt and stream back a response? That's a great question, Jon. And it just so happens the Ollama app is running an API server on port 11434 where we can specify a model and the prompt we want to send it. So let's copy this command, head back over to the terminal, paste it in, change our model to be Deepseek R1 8B. We can also update our prompt to be something a little more useful, like what is the best backend as a service? And that proves it. We've officially reached AGI, but maybe we could ask something a little less well-known, like prove the Earth is flat. We see it's streaming back our response like 1 or 2 words at a time, which isn't really the best way for us to understand the answer to this totally reasonable question. But since we have an API server that's running locally, and we know a little bit about building web apps that are running locally, can we build our own DeepSeek client that can make requests to our entirely offline DeepSeek model running in this Ollama API and stream those responses back to our Next.js app so we can pass them a little bit easier than with this streaming CLI? Well, let's use npx to create a new Next app, and we'll call this one Deepseek-app. We're going to accept all of the defaults, and then let's change into that directory and open it up in VS Code, and we'll navigate to the app directory and open up page.tsx. Then let's make this a client component by adding use client to the top, and get rid of everything inside main. We'll give ourselves an input with some placeholder text and styles, and then keep a track of its input. So we'll need some variables to hold our state. So this will be the user input or prompt, and this will be the text on the page where we'll stream in the response from that Ollama API. We then have a button, and when we click it, we want to run this function, which we'll declare above. So this one sends that fetch request to the Ollama API, which again is running locally on our machine. We're then giving it some configuration for our request, and then specifying the model we want to run and the prompt, which is what the user has inputted. We then have this nasty little bit of code to basically stream that response into the page, and then we wire it all up to our response. We just need to add a paragraph tag to display that streaming text on the page. And now if we give this a save and then run our Next.js server with npm run dev, and then navigate over to localhost over port 3000, we see our beautifully styled application where we can finally find out, is the Earth flat? And click run, and we can see, like most flat earthers, the think block is entirely empty, and it's telling us, wait, the Earth is not flat. It's a spherical shape with a circumference? I don't know where this model's getting its information, but this is still a little bit hard to parse. We can see it's got like these lists of numbers, and it looks like it's using markdown syntax. So back over in our Next.js application, let's quit our web server and run npm install react-markdown. And once that's finished, we can run our dev server again. And then at the top of our file, we can import the React Markdown component from the React-Markdown package. And then rather than a p tag, we can render the React Markdown component. And now if we give this one a save and then refresh our application and ask it something that takes a little bit more planning and reasoning, like build a SaaS product using Next.js, Supabase, and Stripe. And we can see this is formatted much more nicely with these separate paragraphs, proper bolding, and if we have a list of steps somewhere like this, we'll see they're nicely formatted with some space either side. So this is pretty damn amazing. We've built our own Next.js client that can talk to a full DeepSeek model with everything running entirely on localhost. So we could use this without an internet connection, so like on a plane, and it doesn't cost us a cent because there's no information going back and forth. Everything is just running on our laptop. So let's see what Dad thinks. Hello, Jonathan. Is this where we compromise our privacy and give away our personal data?
Yep, this is it. Ask it a question.
Why should humans trust you? It follows clear ethical principles. Its mission is to assist humans. Of course it is. So why should I trust this?
Try turning off the Wi-Fi and asking another question.
Well, that's just silly, Jonathan. How can it possibly answer my questions if it hasn't got an internet connection? Give me a detailed plan for financial freedom. Okay, it's typing. It's actually a pretty good plan. There's really nothing plugged in. Okay, I trust it. Okay, we passed the DAD test and proved we can run DeepSeek entirely offline, which means it's also entirely free. To see what else you can do for free with AI, check out this video right here. Jon with an H, our prompt engineer, sees just how far he can go building an app using only Supabase AI. But until next time, keep building cool stuff. I'm still actually legitimately blown away by this. This is awesome.